Hey guys, just wanted to give you an updated video on my SCX24 fleet. Got a few mods and changes done. I just picked up that deadbolt about 4 days ago. It's been changed up rather heavily. And Betty, of course, can't forget old Betty. Now, Betty doesn't have much for mods. Here's the stock C10, stock under quotes. It's got a few mods to it. And then my drastically lengthened C10. I'll show you that here quick. So that's we'll start with Betty. Everybody knows the Betty. Pretty much bone stock. I did relocate the shocks down to the frame, front and rear, and it has the Hot Racing aluminum servo tray in it. Can't really see too much of it, but it's in there. Other than that, Betty's stock. I didn't really want to mess with it too much. Pretty cool in its stock form. We'll go to this one, the C10. So this one has some weight added to it, obviously. Hot Racing 8-gram C-hubs. Hot Racing 9-gram diff cover. There's a 7-gram weight on top of that servo. Hot Racing rear diff cover with a matching 7-gram weight. I've arched the upper links for more belly clearance and clipped the tires. These tires work beautifully now, guys. They're devented as well. So what I did was I plugged one of the vent holes inside the rim, pushed some air out of it, and then plugged the other hole. Just with hot glue so it can be removed and doesn't hurt anything. And that's that C10. Not a lot done to it. Magnets, of course. Love magnets. And that's it. All the Hot Racing shocks. Or, sorry, Power Hobby. Power Hobby shocks on this weapon. We'll move up here to the deadbolt. Let's swap him out. Bring the deadbolt down here. And we'll put the C10 up on the trailer. For homemade trailer as well. I'll show you that in a sec. Here's my deadbolt. Fellow's name's Outback. It's a disgusting machine. Incredible articulation in the suspension. It does quite well. My deadbolt. All right, so deadbolt's on magnets. Everything's on magnets. Stock electronics, other than just kind of a rigged up servo. The Emax works. I'm waiting for proper servo plates for it. And this one's got the Hot Racing shocks. Coilovers, friction dampers. Unfortunately, nobody's really making a decent oil damper for an SCX24 at this point. The Kinetic KMS are about the nicest thing you can get, in my opinion. And they're not even oil filled. So this has a 10-tooth pinion gear in it that I stole from a Savox servo. The Hot Racing C-hubs, the Hot Racing diff covers, and some extra added weight as well. Another 7 grams in the back. And then we've got the big RC 4-wheel drive scramblers and beadlock rims. Now they're inverted, more so for the wide wheelbase, or sorry, wide track, to compensate for my 4-link conversion in the front. That gave me an extra 10 mil extended wheelbase. And those pieces just came stock, right in the box. Those are the pieces right there I used. I didn't have to modify anything. I removed that upper Y-link, 3-link, wishbone, whatever the heck you want to call it. And I put in these small short links instead. Now I had to use the balls from the stock shocks in order to do so, but they just pop out of there, no biggie. And yeah, I popped them on the front there and right behind the servo mount. No worries. Shorten that drive shaft just a touch. I think I have the piece here, give you an idea. Yeah, so I shortened that drive shaft this much. Like, that's not very significant at all, you know. And it works perfectly fine. No worries, no issues. Heavy articulation. So yeah, that's the deadbolt. Tarped up the back a little bit. I cut off this ridiculous piece of the cage. I don't know, I like to change things up, make it my own. But I didn't really care for that piece that sat in there like that. So I took it off and tarped it. Now we'll move over to super long. This thing is, funny thing, this deadbolt is actually the C10 chassis. And the C10 is actually the deadbolt chassis. Now, the deadbolt, like Betty, has super long rear links. And I did the front 4-link conversion on it as well, extending its wheelbase massively. It is a long truck. I mean, to be fair, it's not even 1/24 anymore, right? And it works real well. Got a good stance on it. It needs a set of the RC 4-wheel drive scramblers, but I don't really want to take these ones off the deadbolt because it's a sick setup that I've got on there. I've got smaller foams in the rear, so it's all dead space until you get down here, and that's where the foam starts. That's all just dead. Man, does it grip. So I don't really want to mess with those, and that's not the setup I'd like to run on that, because it's not only a crawler, but it's a tow rig as well. So yeah, I did the same thing, the 4-link conversion in the front. It just gives you more articulation, guys. Like I said, you just put those shock balls on the upper links, right? And pop those babies on, screw them in, shorten your drive shaft a touch. Done deal. Nothing to it. So right now, this one doesn't have any diff weights. It's getting them. They just haven't come. So it's sitting on a 7-gram rear. I've just got a quick hitch glued on there real quick. Compromises nothing, pops right off. This one has the Power Hobby coil-over shocks as well. Friction dampers. Better than stock, but just a bit. And then this one's got the Hot Racing pinion and spur. Because again, it's the tow rig. I don't want to warm her up too much. and the Emax front servo just kind of rigged in there until I get those proper servo trays. They're on the way. Nothing's been compromised. So that's the tow rig. We'll put that back on there. So that's where it belongs. Get on there. So this is my custom trailer, homemade. Nothing special about it, just some materials I had laying around left over from my indoor crawler course. A little bit of aluminum for a gate. Excuse me, Betty. We got things we're talking about here. So the gate does drop down, no problem. And everything cruises on up there. You know, you get the deadbolt on there planted. Looks pretty. Yeah, some spare tires. Those are my Patagonias. And then one rock crusher. Just more so for space. And I like to carry the other 3 in the back between the rails. So it looks like a full race setup when you have it decked out. This is just popsicle sticks, guys. A little bit of wooden dowel, a lot of hot glue, and a pair of stock C10 tires I didn't need. That's it. Nothing special. Made in no time. Just popsicle sticks. Not even joking. That's it. That's my setup. My fleet, so to speak. SCX24’s. I'm pretty sure you can't have enough. All right, guys. Well, hope you enjoyed the video.